Is a man cheating for fun or serious? The key is to look at the three reactions to cheating. Hello everyone, I am Cherry. When a man is caught cheating by his original wife, their reactions are almost the same. They refuse to admit and insist that they did nothing. If the real hammer is thrown in front of him, he will change his words unadmitted, but the excuse he uses is almost the same. I was just playing with her, and I only have you in my heart. Is he really just playing around and playing around? Or is he actually completely moved on and even has the idea of staying with the other person forever? As a psychological counselor who has studied intimate relationships for many years, I found that the psychological motivation of cheating behavior is far more complicated than the appearance. If you want to make a distinction between the two, you need to analyze the underlying psychology of men cheating. Although when a man cheats, his behavior seems to be nothing more than hugging and cuddling with the other party, saying sweet words, having sex, etc. But from the overall point of view, whether a man's cheating is for fun or for the sake of heart depends on whether his motivation for cheating is mainly to vent desires and pressure or to gain emotional connection. It is easy to understand the desire and pressure release. Many men have many unsatisfied instincts in marriage, such as sex, the feeling of being admired, etc. While under the high pressure of life and work, there is too much pressure in their hearts that cannot be released and has reached the threshold that they can't tolerate. In order to relieve the depression or desire in their hearts and fill the emptiness in their hearts, they satisfy and compensate themselves by cheating on their partners. In this case, the cheating object is essentially a tool. Her own characteristics are not so important. As long as she can satisfy the man, it's fine. Therefore, it is easy to replace. For example, many men like to go to some entertainment venues to order hostesses, and they have no emotional memory of the hostesses after sobering up. The heart-to-heart cheating focuses more on the spiritual and emotional needs of men to be satisfied. For example, men desire to be understood, have their values confirmed, and get spiritual resonance. If men are in a state of lack of these core needs in marriage for a long time, they will unconsciously turn their emotional investment to the outside world. The third party becomes the projection carrier of his idealized self in his heart. He may even feel that he is a soulmate and that he met the third party too late. Based on these two different underlying psychological logics, they will also show completely different behavior patterns when facing different cheating objects, whether they are just playing around or taking things seriously. We can judge from the following three core dimensions. 1. Different investment and allocation of time and place. For cheating in a casual way, the time invested by men is relatively fragmented and is generally concentrated in some safe period. For example, men only meet with third parties when they are on business trips or working overtime. The time of meeting is often more random, and they will meet when it is convenient, especially avoiding major holidays. Because men still have a clear dividing line in their hearts at this time, knowing that their cheating is only to meet certain needs, especially sexual needs, he has thought from the beginning that it will not affect the marriage. Therefore, he will try his best to avoid any behavior that will lead to the exposure of cheating and threaten the marriage. When communicating with a third party, he will also try his best to avoid communication on daily trivial matters. For cheating in a serious way, men no longer just cheat randomly. He will even plan the time to meet the third party by lying and making arrangements in advance, and he will not hesitate to infringe on his daily time with his family. At this time, he has a high emotional intensity with the third party, and he can't help wanting to spend more time with the other party, even if it risks revealing something. There is also a certain difference between the two in the location of the cheating. For the playful cheating, the scene is generally selected in a specific place, such as a hotel or a bar. On the one hand, this avoids getting involved in his daily life circle and preventing being discovered. On the other hand, the man also psychologically sets limits for himself, reminding himself and the other party that they are just playing around. The heart-to-heart cheating will expand the cheating venue to all aspects of life and penetrate into each other's lives. Some people will take care of pets and relatives for the third party, bring the other party into their circle of friends, and have some relationship co-building behaviors, and even travel together, rent a house together, etc. This means that the man has included the third party in his life map and wants to establish a long-term connection with the other party. On the one hand, he wants to build an independent, parallel world with the other party. On the other hand, when cheating will invade a lot of his daily time and life, it is bound to take greater risks, but he is still happy with it, which shows that he has invested true feeling. 2. Different depths of emotional exposure. In addition, we can also distinguish them from the psychology and body language of men when they come into contact with a third party. As we mentioned in the previous article, the playful cheating is more inclined to release pressure and desire. Men only regard the other party as a tool, so they will have many physical intimacy with the third party in certain occasions, but they may keep a distance from the other party in other public places and may also avoid long-term eye contact. Mentally, the playful cheating will strictly guard the psychological defense line. No matter how close a man seems to be to the other party, his communication with the other party is limited to some nonsense on the scene, and even sweet words are just flirting to add to the fun. What should I do if I encounter a marriage crisis and avoid communication? However, when it comes to the real situation of the man, he often avoids talking about it and will not show his real vulnerable side, such as career setbacks and deep conflicts with his original wife. In other words, he is wary of the cheating object. His heart will be closed, and he will not show his true side. Because he knows that his contact with the other party is like the relationship between a customer and a service staff. He pays for the emotional value. The other party provides the service. He gets satisfied. The transaction is over, and the relationship can be terminated. The difference between serious cheating and cheating is that it is really heartfelt. He will really reveal his traumatic experience and inner fear, and may even shed tears to show weakness, and will show his true and unbearable side to see if the other party can accept it. His conversation with the other party will involve all aspects of life, even more and deeper than his communication with his original wife. His ideals, ambitions, pain, things he is interested in. He has regarded the other party as a spiritual utopia and a gentle place, and will have a strong dependence mentality. He often feels that the other party really understands him and is the person he has been looking for. In fact, he just projects his imagination of an ideal relationship into this relationship, so he imagines the third party to be perfect. When he is with the other party, he will not only have physical contact with desire, but also can't help but have intimate contact with the other party in public places, such as combing the other party's hair, putting his arm around each other's shoulders, and can't help but get close to each other when talking. In other words, this physiological liking makes him willing to take the risk of being exposed. 3. When the affair is exposed, the coping strategies are different. The third significant difference is that when the affair is discovered, the man's coping strategies will be different. In the case of a playful affair, the man puts the original wife in marriage in a more important position from the beginning. He is always ready to withdraw. Once the affair is exposed, he will quickly cut off the relationship with the other party to appease the original wife. Of course, it is unknown whether he will cheat again in the future, but at the moment of being discovered, he will cut off the relationship with the other party without any nostalgia, claiming that he was just confused for a moment. The heart-to-heart affair is different. When a man is found to have cheated, he will be very nostalgic and reluctant to part with the third party. He may be willing to cooperate in breaking off contact in order to appease the original wife, but he is often a false return on the surface. He is returned, but in fact, he is secretly with the third party. He may even secretly transfer property or even file for divorce. The position of the third party in his heart is not much different from that of the original wife. He will seriously weigh who is more suitable to choose, and will also beautify the affair, claiming that he has met true love, and justify his betrayal from a moral level. It can be seen that in terms of the lethality of cheating on marriage, there is indeed a difference between playful cheating and serious cheating. Playful cheating is more about destroying the trust foundation of marriage, making the original wife no longer trust her partner, but the man does not really intend to divorce. Serious cheating has shaken the foundation of marriage, emotional connection. It is difficult for men to completely withdraw, and it may even completely destroy the marriage. Therefore, many women are eager to distinguish what kind of cheating men are having so that they can adopt different strategies. If it is determined that the man is really just playing around, they often breathe a sigh of relief and feel that there is still room for saving the marriage. But in fact, it seems important to distinguish whether a man is cheating for fun or seriously. But in fact, it is not that important. There's no boundary between playing and being serious that can never be crossed. Sometimes men themselves can't figure out whether he is playing or being serious, and the playful type may transform into the serious. He may have just wanted to play around at first, but when he has more contact with the other person, he can't help but reveal his true feelings. Or he may have just wanted to treat the other person as a stress reliever, but gradually found that the other person can provide him with emotional value and can resonate with him spiritually, share similar interests, and even understand and support him. Then the psychological defense line in his heart will slowly disintegrate. He may have just wanted to satisfy his physical desires, but later he fell into emotional dependence. The greed of human nature itself lies in wanting to preserve the stability of marriage, but also longing for the excitement of new relationships and eventually losing the boundaries and desire. Secondly, both the playful type and the serious type will cause great harm to the original wife. After a man cheats, he will claim that he is just playing around. But for the original wife, it is difficult for her to see the real motive behind the behavior. Regardless of whether the man is really playing around, he has indeed had intimate actions that only couples can have with an extramarital opposite sex. He has spent money that originally belonged to the common property of the couple on the other party. He has betrayed the trust of the original wife, destroyed the contract between the couple, and made the original wife feel the pain and shame of the original wife's trust system will collapse. Her self-value system will be destructively questioned, and she will fall into panic about the future. Even if the original wife can reconfirm that the man is indeed playing around, when will he stop playing? If he keeps playing around, what will the original wife do? Is playing around a man's golden ticket to avoid death? Can it erase the harm to his partner? So, in my opinion, whether he is just playing around or cheating with his heart, the original wife can completely adopt the same strategy. That is to use the original wife's own needs as a guide for action and regain the initiative in the marriage. Face and allow your own pain. When many women catch their men cheating, the men claim that they are just playing around. At the same time, they also secretly PUA their original wives. I am just playing around. I will not really divorce. Why are you so nervous? It seems that women's nervousness, anxiety, and inquiries are all making a fuss. This is like asking a person not to cry if one hand is broken. Crying is hypocritical, and crying is allowed only if both hands are broken. It is a kind of emotional manipulation of the other party. Pain is pain, regardless of size. As long as you feel uncomfortable, wronged, angry, you can face and express these emotions. So you have to allow your emotions to flow naturally and let yourself release pain in a safe environment. Fears and anger are the beginning of healing. At the same time, you can get along with your negative emotions with awareness, such as telling yourself, I feel very wronged. You can also heal negative emotions by writing an emotional diary, mindfulness, meditation, etc. If necessary, you can find a professional counselor to build a support system. Review into just the way you get along with each other. No matter how a man is stingy, there should be no betrayal and deception in a real and close love. When cheating occurs in a relationship, whether it is just a casual affair or a serious one, it means that there is a crack in your relationship and there are some problems with your previous relationship model. If you still want to give the other person a chance, you must face the contradictions in the relationship. You can sort out the core problems through marriage counseling and establish new communication rules and emotional connection methods. Set hard rules for the subsequent relationship repair. No matter what kind of cheating, if you hope to repair the relationship with the other party, you must set rules for getting along in the future. You need to let the other party know your bottom line. If you commit it again, no matter what kind of cheating, you will divorce immediately. At the same time, you can sign a property ownership agreement during the marriage to provide legal protection for your rights and interests. Since the other party has destroyed the foundation of trust in the marriage, if the other party does not want the marriage to be excavated, you have every right to ask the other party to be transparent about his itinerary on restore the trust between you. When we struggle in the quagmire of playing or being sincere, we have actually fallen into the other party's logical trap. Your value should never be defined by the nature of his betrayal. What really matters is not what he thought when he cheated, but what you need at this moment. Leave with dignity or set strict conditions for the rebirth of the relationship. No matter which path you choose, the key is to shift your focus from how he hurt me to how can I rebuild my life. When you stop asking, does he love her? And start practicing, how can I love myself more? You will find that those betrayals that don't kill you will eventually become stepping stones for your life upgrade.